Hello and welcome to BBC News. I'm Laxmi Gopal. Well, let's start with our main story this hour. 12 people, including 3 children, have been killed in the Ukrainian capital after heavy Russian bombardment. The country came under a Russian air attack overnight, with Kyiv reporting being hit by ballistic missiles and drones. In the past hour, the EU chief says the EU mission building has been damaged. The head of the city's military administration said several residential buildings in more than 20 districts of the capital were struck. And we have had reaction from this from the mayor as well. The Kyiv mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, said that it was a massive drone and missile attack. And in a statement on social media, the Ukrainian President Zelensky said the Kremlin had chosen ballistics instead of the negotiating table and reiterated the need for new, tough sanctions on Russia. What you're seeing now are live pictures from Kyiv. A 5-story residential building has collapsed as a result of a direct hit, and rescuers, as you can see there, are working to try to pull people from the rubble and to move some of the damage there. So just to reiterate, these are live scenes from where the damage occurred, with 3 children among 12 people killed in the Russian attack on Kyiv. And we know also that a fire broke out at a 25-story building and a kindergarten was reported to be ablaze. Well, let's get the latest now and speak to our correspondent in Kyiv, Katie Watson. Katie, just tell us the latest details on the aftermath of the attacks overnight.
Well, I'm standing outside one building. You can see they got hit by a missile at about 3 this morning. You can see how it ripped through the building. There were rescue workers going through on the rubble. Some of that rubble is still smoking. There were trucks trying to remove a lot of the debris. Now, I've been told that there were 10 people who lived in this part of the flats. They haven't been able to contact those people, so they're still trying to find them. It might be that they weren't even in Kyiv. They could be trapped under the rubble. So it's still very much a rescue mission here outside this building. This is one of 20 sites that was hit in the capital overnight. There were drone attacks, there were missile attacks. This was a missile. You can just see how much damage has been done, and obviously it's still very much an active scene of recovery right now.
And Katie, it wasn't that long ago that Ukrainian President Zelensky had talks with President Trump, and it's been announced since that a Ukraine delegation will meet US officials in New York on Friday to discuss ending the war in Russia. All of that against this backdrop of ongoing Russian attacks seems very much a contradiction, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and President Zelensky said exactly that after the overnight attacks, that Russia chooses ballistics rather than going to the negotiating table. But this is a war that people here are under no illusions that peace will come anytime soon. Yes, there's been a flurry of diplomatic talks. It seems, in the last few days, that's stalled in the fact that Russia has not made it clear that they would sit at the table with President Zelensky. And then, of course, we see attacks like this. The last few weeks in Kyiv have been relatively quiet. July was a very difficult month in the capital, but overnight, the sirens went off yesterday evening and remained in place until early this morning. A lot of the capital was woken up by huge explosions in the early hours, and obviously there were a lot of the Ukrainian air defense did intercept a lot of the missiles and the drones, but of course they didn't intercept all of them, and you can see the damage was done. We were standing outside the most deadly attack, and President Zelensky on social media said that at least 1 child has died. The numbers are still coming out. It's still very dynamic on the ground, as you can see. It's unclear exactly how many people here have died and how many people can still be rescued. So it's a scene that I think people in Kyiv are far from the front line, but they're never far from the effects of war, especially overnight when we saw this huge barrage of missiles and drones overnight. A very difficult night compared to the last few weeks that have seen relative calm.
Yes, and we can see from the distressing scene behind you there, Katie. That's our correspondent, Katie Watson, in Kyiv for us.